Hi friends, how are you today? Welcome back, and for those of you that are new, hi, welcome. My name is Lisbeth, and this is Makeup and Books. And what I do is I do my makeup while I talk about a book that I've read, and I try to do my makeup like I think a character from the book would do if they lived today. And this is just my interpretation of how they would do their makeup. It's not based on any facts or anything. It's just how I think they would do it. And so yeah, that's what I do. And also I finally cleaned off my vanity. So it's looking a lot better. And it's so nice just to have a few things in front of me that I can actually find instead of looking everywhere and finding it right in front of my face but buried under something, you know? So it's very nice having my vanity clean. So I talked about a book yesterday, but I don't think I'm going to post that video because I didn't really like it. It's been a while since I read the book, and I feel like I need to refresh myself on it a little bit before I do it again. I think I will go do that book again because I really do enjoy that book. I also I have been so bad about editing lately. It's just I have a love-hate relationship with editing. I think I've said this before, but it's kind of fun to do, but at the same time it's time-consuming. And I just, sometimes I get bored doing it. I don't know. I just need to suck it up and edit the few videos that I've done this week. I will hopefully get those done by today. If not, tomorrow. Anyways, so today I'm going to be talking about my favorite Jane Austen book. And I'm super excited because I love this book. Also, I own nothing. I don't own the book. I don't own the characters. All rights go to Jane Austen. So the book I will be talking about today. Oh, and also I feel like I might not be doing my makeup today exactly like I think the character would do. I'm kind of doing it because I wanted to try this. I'm kind of doing it I'm kind of doing my makeup as a theme with the book. There we go. So I'm going to be talking about Persuasion. And I absolutely love Persuasion. I love the book. It is just, in my opinion, it is the best book that she's written. That she wrote. I absolutely love it. And I don't think I'm alone in that opinion either. But did you also know it was the last book there was like the last full novel she wrote before she died? It's true. Anyway, so Persuasion. It is about a young woman who's she's 27 she's 27 in this book. And 8 years earlier, she had fallen madly in love with a young naval captain. But her family did not approve of the match because he wasn't wealthy. He was a nobody. And so her father and a good friend of her mother's persuaded her to call off the match. And she did. And then this young naval captain went off to war, heartbroken. She broke both their hearts, really. But he went off to war, and now he is a wealthy captain in the Navy, and regrets what happened, not because of the money, but because she never really stopped loving him. She regrets the fact that she was persuaded to break things off with him. Anyway, so I'll get more into that in a little bit, but let's talk about Anne's family. So, Anne's family consists of her father and 2 sisters. Anne is the middle daughter. And Anne's father is a silly, vain, just kind of foolish man. And really, her older sister and her younger sister aren't too different. They're both pretty silly and foolish. And Sir Walter, her father's name, he is obsessed with this book called The Baronetcy. He's obsessed with the baronetcy and just obsessed with being high ranking in his world and with everybody who is high ranking in this world. He wants to be high ranking. He wants to be he wants everything that's good and expensive, and he wants to be all this, right? And the mother died when the girls were still fairly young. Anne's older sister was 16, I believe, and Anne was 14. And Anne is now 27. I think I already said that, but she's now 27, and her older sister Elizabeth is 29. Her younger sister Mary is, I don't remember how old Mary is, but she's a couple years younger. So maybe around 25. Oh, and Mary is also the only one who is married out of the sisters. Elizabeth had wanted to get married to Miss William Elliot a while ago, but she thought that he might propose because they were hanging out and stuff, but then he kind of stopped calling, and they found out later that he had married somebody else. So they broke ties with him. And, but you might notice, William Elliot is actually related to them, because their last name is Elliot as well. I don't remember exactly how he was related. He might be a cousin or something. I believe he's a cousin. Anyway, I'll get more into him later too. So, anyway, so when Anne's mother was alive, she was quite a sensible woman. She kind of balanced out her husband, and she was the more sensible one, but so there was more economy in their home. But when she passed away, there wasn't really anybody to temper Sir Walter anymore. And so he kind of started spending beyond his means. And, well, they're in a spot of trouble now. He finally told Elizabeth that he had spent... And Elizabeth has been taking care of the household since she was 16 when the mother passed away. And so he finally told Elizabeth, and they did a couple of things, but really it's not enough to make them still live at Kellynch Hall feasible. So they decide to take a house in Bath, which is less expensive, until hopefully they can come back to Kellynch Hall. And so Mary, or not, Mary is the younger sister. I don't know if I mentioned that, but she's the younger sister who's married. And she lives with her husband and not too far away from Sir Walter and Elizabeth and Anne. But Anne doesn't really want to go to Bath, and Sir Walter and Elizabeth are fine with this. Anne isn't really the favorite daughter. So Elizabeth and Sir Walter go to Bath. Oh, and before they go to Bath, they find out with a new companion, Mrs. Clay, who is the daughter of Sir Walter's lawyer. But before they go, the lawyer tells, or Sir Walter's lawyer friend, and the lawyer tells him he has somebody who wants to rent the house from them, and it's an admiral in the Navy. And Sir Walter doesn't love this because he doesn't like people in the Navy, because they're brought up to, because he thinks they've been brought up to be higher than they really are, and they have ugly complexions from the sun. He doesn't like the Navy as a profession. So he's not so happy about this, but you know, it's a good offer, and so he agrees to take it. Well, this admiral, his last name is Croft, Admiral Croft, and turns out Admiral Croft, he is married to the brother of Captain Frederick. Not to the brother, I'm so sorry, to the sister, there we go, of Captain, okay, let me try that again. Admiral Croft is married to the sister of Captain Frederick Wentworth, who is the young captain that Anne was persuaded to give up 8 years ago. Well, okay, so Elizabeth and her father removed to Bath, and Anne goes to visit Mary, and to visit and stay with Mary. And Mary, like I said, she's kind of a silly girl, and I feel like she's also a little bit of a hypochondriac. She feels like she's sick a lot, even though she really isn't. But and she's married to Charles Musgrove, and so like I said, they live close to Kellynch Hall. And one day the Crofts are invited to have dinner with the Crofts and the Musgroves meet, and they become friends, and Captain Wentworth is back from the war, and he's staying with his sister. And so Anne and he's very handsome, right? And so all the Charles Musgrove, Mary's husband, has a couple younger sisters, and they're all a Twitter over him, and because he's very handsome. And one of the sisters is actually engaged, but the guy who she's engaged to isn't there at first, or isn't in the picture when they first meet Wentworth, and so she's all a flutter over Captain Wentworth as well for a little bit. And that's what I was looking for. And so and the family's like all taking bets about which sister will catch his eye and stuff. And Mary did not know that Anne and Captain Frederick Wentworth were in a thing because she was away at school when they were together. So it was only Elizabeth and her father and the good friend of the mother, Lady Russell, who knew about the engagement. And Lady Russell had a big part in the separation of Anne and Frederick. So Frederick is not so fond of her. But when Frederick meets Anne again, he's not really too fond of Anne anymore either, because he hasn't really forgiven her for breaking his heart yet. All right, now I know you might be saying 7 years is a long time. I agree with you. 7 years is a long time. But can you really blame him for still feeling hurt? I can't. Because, you know, she broke off the engagement. They were in love, and she was persuaded to break it off. And he has a pretty confident temper. You know, he knows who he is. And so her being persuaded by somebody else to break off the engagement probably doesn't sit very well with him, right? Because, yeah, anyway, but so they all the Captain Wentworth and the Musgroves all become friends. And Anne actually overhears Captain Wentworth and Louisa, I believe, one of the sisters. What are the sisters' names? Louisa and Henrietta, I believe. And I believe it's Henrietta, who's engaged to the other guy. And once the other guy comes back into the picture, then he and her reconnect, and they're still engaged. Oh, I have to show you this blush, though. I just got it in my Ipsy box. I don't know if you guys can see very well, but there we go. Look at that. It's got flamingos on it. It's so cute. I also really like the color. Anyway, so Anne overhears Captain Wentworth and Louisa having a conversation where Louisa tells Captain Wentworth that Charles, Mary's husband, actually proposed to Anne first. And he's rather shocked at this, and Anne realizes then that he hasn't forgiven her yet that Captain Wentworth hasn't forgiven her yet for what she did to him. Anne is, I think when she was younger, you know, she allowed herself to be persuaded a little bit, but she's grown up, and she knows who she is more a little bit. She feels really bad about what happened between them. But Captain Wentworth at first is really not willing to get to know her very much anymore. You know, he really doesn't want to set himself up for another disappointment, another heartbreak, which again, can you really blame him? Nobody wants to be scorned twice. But so eventually they all go to Lyme together to meet up with a couple of Captain Wentworth's friends. And while they were there, it kind of looks like Louisa and Captain Wentworth are getting closer together, and like he might be wanting to propose to her. You know what? I totally forgot to use concealer. Oh well. But I guess I was just too consumed by talking about this because I really love this story, guys. Well, they're at Lyme though, or Anne kind of bonds with one of Wentworth's friends who is recovering from, he was away at sea. His fiance died, so he's kind of recovering from that, and she sees Louisa and Wentworth getting closer together. Well, one day, Louisa has a nasty fall and gets a pretty bad concussion. And so, what was I going to say? So Frederick and Anne go back to where they're from. I forget where they're from. And get Louisa's parents to come help. And while they're there, Anne doesn't go back to Lyme with him, but she heads to Bath to be with Elizabeth and Sir Walter. That was not the best. Those are not the best rings ever. That's for sure. I think I like that one better. Anyway. So she goes to Bath to be with Elizabeth, there we go, and Sir Walter. Well, while she's there, she meets William Elliot. And William Elliot is he's the guy, he's charming. And he's charming and he's just sweet. And he and Sir Walter have made up. So he's back in Sir Walter's good graces. But what do we say about the charmers in Jane Austen book? In Jane Austen books, probably not all they're cracked up to be. But, and then, one day the Crafts also arrive in Bath. And Captain Wentworth is also with them. And one day, and one of his friends from Lyme, and he overhears Anne and his friend from Lyme talking about the constancy of like women's feelings versus men's feelings when they lose a partner or whatever. And he realizes then that he still has feelings for Anne. Oh, I don't know. He probably knew this before that, but he realizes how deep his feelings for Anne still go. But at the same time, it looks like William Elliot is trying to court Anne. And he doesn't like this, that's for sure. But one day, Anne goes to visit an old school friend she has, who is a young widow. And this young widow basically tells her that William Elliot is no good. He had basically conned her husband into, when he was still alive, into like giving up, putting him in debt, giving up his money, and that he's a womanizer, he's no good. And so, and Anne really isn't that interested in him anyways. Because she still loves Captain Wentworth. But now she knows that he really is no good. Hold on. What was I going to say? Anyway, so this school friend has told her how not good William Elliot is. And so she realizes now that he probably just wants her father's money, or to be the heir of Kellynch Hall. Sorry, hold on. And around this time, I think I might have already said this, but Captain Wentworth Frederick has also realized that, he's realized that he still loves Anne, and he was just letting his heart and his frustration hold him back. So he writes her a note, and they meet in front of the hotel again, and they decided that, and they're both still in love with each other, and they decide to get engaged again. Yay! And eventually, Lady Russell also realizes that she was wrong about Frederick, and when Frederick comes back, he does not like Lady Russell, because he knows that she had a big part in separating them. But eventually they start to become friends again. And Anne has matured to the point where she's not going to let anybody decide who she does or does not love anymore. And she's confident about loving Frederick, and so they get engaged again. And it's just, and Mrs. Clay, the companion who went with Elizabeth and Sir Walter to Bath, eventually runs off with William Elliot, somehow ensuring that William will become the next heir of Kellynch Hall. Anyways, so I don't remember. She becomes William Elliot's mistress. I don't remember, but I think she and Sir Walter had gotten married, but I don't remember for sure. I'll double check that. But she runs off and becomes William Elliot's mistress in the end. So that's too bad. Hold on. All right. So I'm done. I don't think Anne would do her eyes like I did her eyes. I feel like she would keep her makeup pretty low-key. It would be a pretty everyday, just kind of a natural look. The face, I feel like, probably isn't too far off from what she would do. Hold on, let me turn my lights. But I really don't feel like she would use a whole lot of blue on her eyes. I really wanted to do it go with the navy theme. Anyway, I love this story because it's a good, sweet story. You know, it's second chances, and I'm a sucker for a second chance story. It's second chances. It's true love. It's finding love again across years. Because 7 years, that's a long time to be apart and to still find love, I feel. Not impossible, but it is a long time to be apart. And still love that person, you know? But it's such a good book. I highly recommend it. Again, it's a classic. So it might be a little hard to get into at first, but it is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. I also highly I have seen, for the movies, I've seen a couple versions. The first one, I think it was like 95. I think it was done in the 90s, if I remember correctly. Not positive. It's been a while since I've seen it. It was good. It was well done. It wasn't my favorite though. My favorite version is the 2007 version. And I know when I said Pride and Prejudice, I kept saying 2007 version because I kept getting it mixed up with the year that Persuasion was done. But Persuasion was done in 2007. Pride and Prejudice was done in 2005. But I highly recommend the 2000 version of Persuasion. It's fantastic. The acting is awesome. It's just, I love it. I don't know. I just love it. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen the other version. I'm sure it's also fantastic. But I don't remember that well. I just remember I liked the 2007 version better. I might need to watch that again. But again, since it is a Jane Austen book, it is a little bit hard to get into at first, but it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. It's definitely 100% worth it, I think. Anyways, I think I'm done. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button just down there so that you can get notified of future uploads. I hope you enjoyed the video today. With the lights too. You know what? I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking this look. I feel like it's a good look. The eyes are a little bit messy, especially underneath, but not terrible. I kind of, oh, and the wings aren't great. I did not do the best job on the wings, that's for sure. I don't use blue a lot, but it's kind of fun when I do use it. And I like the lip color. And I feel like I've been doing better with blending and stuff on my face lately, so that's exciting. Oh, and I got this in my Ipsy bag too. It's a Benefit Cosmetics. It's a brow setter gel, so we'll see how well that works today. And yeah, I think that's it. So please remember to treat everyone with kindness and respect. Everyone has a story, and we don't know what it is. So a little kindness and respect go a long way in this world. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Please be careful out there. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.